Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Welcome to a special conversation with the minds behind an AI-powered solution that's transforming how we understand and prevent student dropouts. Today we meet the Smart India Hackathon winners who have developed an intelligent dropout prediction and counseling system designed to support both students and teachers through timely insights, early intervention and personalized guidance. So let's get to know more about it. Welcome to the studio, guys.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So, I'm Akash Verma, a student of the IIT Sindri, currently pursuing my Bachelor in Technology of Information Technology on my second year.
Myself, Prince Kumar from IIT Sindri, and I am pursuing Information Technology in graduation.
Okay, great. Good to have you both today with us. So now please let me know the problem statement that you worked upon, what the problem was, and why exactly did you choose that particular problem?
Okay, so our problem statement was to create the AI-based dropout prediction and counseling system. The reason we chose that problem because in India, like majorly in our country, we are seeing that nowadays most of the students are dropping out from the colleges, and we are not getting the root cause that what is the problem behind it. And in order to solve that problem, we choose that problem.
Okay, so was it close to your heart, something like that? Maybe you yourself are a student, so you felt closer to this, or was there a trigger which made you think about it, and you thought, okay, this is the statement we should go after?
Actually, this problem was really close to my heart because in most of the time, like let's be honest to us, like we have seen that students are getting dropped out from colleges and there is no one out there who can help them. So if there is something which can help them, which can boost their enthusiasm to study in colleges or school and not drop out, so that was something which will be beneficial not only to the government but also to the students who are like studying in colleges and schools throughout the nation.
So, okay, so this was close to your heart, got it. So now let's talk about the solution. I mean, how did you think of solution? What all did you, in terms of research or anything else come up with? So how did you go about finding the solution for this and creating this app?
Okay, so first of all, as we see that most of the time, students are taking dropout out of three reasons, which is if their marks are degrading, or if they are facing any academic issue like the attendance problem, or if they are unable to like submit their fees by time, like any financial problem. So based on these three factors, we created an AI model which can predict the dropout chances, like what were the chances that the student is likely to get dropout from the college. So about that model, Prince will make describe that model.
So in terms of your team, what was your team composition? Who all were there in terms of not only the person, but you can say the value they brought, their technicalities in terms of technicalities or otherwise their strong points. So keeping that in mind, how did you form this team and who all were there and who all were doing what?
Okay, so like as for the technicalities, I was handling the front end and the automation part. Then Neeraj and Divyaraj, they two were from the same branch. So Neeraj was from mechanical. So they two were handling the back-end part. Renisa was handling the front end and the documentation part, and Prince and Praveen, they were they were handling the ML part.
Okay, so now let us get to your solution, exact solution. What exactly did you create? What is it and how does it work?
Okay, so as for the ML part, Prince will describe that.
Yes, sir. We have trained a model which is XGBoost in three factors that Akash explained: the fees, marks, and attendance. On these three factors, we have trained XGBoost model so that it can predict the dropout prediction of the student.
Okay, and if I have to say, like, how does it work in the sense, like, if I am a student or a teacher, how do I use it and how do I, get benefited out of it?
As a teacher, you will just put the attendance, marks, or the three factors which will predict the probability of dropout of a student. You will enter that in the dashboard the data of the student, and the model will automatically give you the prediction that what is the probability that the student is going to drop out from this.
Okay, so guys, can you give me an entire flow from the very beginning? How does it work? Like, who accesses the system and feeds in the data, and then how this is processed, and how at the other end someone else is accessing it to make an analysis. So can you give me a complete workflow of this entire thing?
Okay. First of all, when you enter the landing page of our website, so there are two login panels. One for the admin, which will be the teachers or the professors of a college or a school. Then a student cannot create a new account. Only those who have been registered by the professor or the super admin of the college, only they can log in. Like they will get a special verification mail. Only using that mail and password they can log in. Then once they have logged in, they can see various details of them of theirs in the college, like their attendance sheet, the fees which they have submitted, their marks since the past test and all. Also, there were some models which can predict. Then there was an ML model which will tell what is the percentage that the student is likely to take dropout from the colleges. In a scale of 1 to 100, if the percentage is greater than 70, then they are in the red zone. That is, they are most likely to have dropout from the colleges. In the 40 to 70% range, they are in the yellow zone. Like there is moderate chance that they will take dropout from the college, and in 1 to 40%, like they are in the green zone. Like everything is fine. There are least chances that they will take dropout from the college. Now, in the admin panel, a teacher can log in into that panel. Once he has logged in, he can submit various details of the student, like the test marks, the attendance, and anything related to student data he can feed, and that will be visible in the student panel. Now, as we know that dropout can be taken from these three factors, like the financial, the attendance, or the marks factor. But there was one more factor, which is emotional factor. Like if someone's suffering from depression is tough, that cannot be predicted by AI model. So for that, we automated our system using 11 labs and NPTEL. What happens is that a student can directly book his counseling session with a counselor. If he's facing any problem, he can get help regarding that problem, and anything he can ask from the counselor. So that was the advantage which we are getting over our problem statement. Like we're not just solving anything which a ML model can solve. We are also dealing with the problem if someone is facing emotionally and wants to take dropout.
Okay, so at the teacher level, what other interventions could be there apart from giving counseling? But that too, when a student is asking for counseling, only then we provide the counseling. So what other interventions can a teacher or the institution take?
Yeah, other interventions were like, suppose there are places in India where there is less internet connectivity, or there are places in which there are chances that the student does not have a smartphone. So what happens is that if there is a chance that more than 70% that the student is taking dropout, then he can directly connect with the student. Like he can have a one-on-one meet with the student. Now, suppose he doesn't have a smartphone, so he can directly send SMS to his phone. For that, we have used Twilio. And other than that, we have automated the system as well. As for example, if he wants to have a counseling session with the professor, he can just give a call. Like our AI model will just automatically book the system in the Google Calendar of the counselor. Other than that, if there is a less internet connectivity in his area, so we have made that app a PWA, which stands for Progressive Web Application. So even if he's facing lesser internet connectivity, even then our app will work.
Okay, so teacher can itself take initiative and reach out and try to solve whatever issue there might be. That's good. So now getting back to the student end, I mean, what all avenues or what all methods have you thought about collecting the student data on the panel? So how all can student of course, a student can voluntarily go and put in the data for himself. So are there any other ways in which you think you should be getting the data and having it on your panel? Because each time the student might not be very forthcoming.
Yeah, so that is the best part. Like a student does not need to share his data. Like the college itself has the data in their sheets. Like they have the data, like whether the student has submitted his fees or not. They have the attendance data of the student, and they have the marks also, that how much he has scored in his previous semester. So the student does not have to do anything as also. Like all this data will be voluntary via admin. When the admin feeds the data to the ML model, that model itself predicts what are the chances that the student is likely to get dropout, and then that data is automatically sent to the student panel, what are the chances that he will take dropout.
So, by any chance, were you able to run a simulation kind of a thing or a test run just to see if the system is working flawlessly, or are there any, issues or gaps to be sorted out?
Yeah, so even in the hackathon period and before that, we tested it a lot of times. So most of the time, the output which we were getting was positive. So we were sure that our model and the automations all were working just fine.
Now, coming to your SIH experience, how was that? How tense you were, or how happy you were, or how jubilated you were while participating in the contest? So, tell us about the experience you had, both of you.
It was a very nice experience to attend the hackathon, which is the biggest hackathon of our country, and we have experienced the the condition there is very right. We have a good food, or every time 4 times our food. That was a good from the size team, and we always have a get together with the other teams, the students of other colleges, to know about other, to make our network, and yeah, to know about themselves or their self, how they are studying, what they are doing in their programming language or in tech fields related to that.
Okay, so this was about the hospitality and the personal bonds that you might have created there. Wonderful. That's nice to hear all positive things about it. But what about the competition itself? So there must be other teams around you who would be working on the same problem statement. So how are you measuring yourself up to them, and how are you as a competitor dealing with the pressures of the situation?
Okay, so if I would have to be honest with that, then there are 3 rounds of evaluations as in the SIS. So when there was the time when as for the first round of evaluation, it didn't there was some problem in the first round of evaluation. We were facing problem, our model was not working, and there were many wrongdoings also. But as for the second and third round of evaluation, everything was working from our side. We were getting positive reviews, and as for the other teams, it was obvious that out of the 500 problem statements that were submitted, only 5 teams were invited to the final round. So each of them were pushing us to our very limits, and it was quite a competitive environment there.
So what was the strategy for the final presentation? Because that is a make and break thing. That is the final thing which takes you to the podium. So is there a strategy? Was there a strategy or a plan behind making the final presentation? What was your thoughts going on in your team's mind when you were about to do that?
Yeah, as for the final round, one suggestion which I will give to every team, that in the first and second round of evaluation, mentors will come to your desk. They will ask you to do some changes which they want to see in the final round of evaluation. So before the final round of evaluation, make sure that you have done those changes. And that is one thing that separates you from the other. Those are the things that impresses the judge and the panel. That is one thing. Second is documentation. Make sure that your documentation is up to the mark. No false data or anything. Everything should be practical and real. And also, be straight up to the judges. If anything is not working, don't show false data or anything to the judges. Tell them honestly. If something is not working fine, you can say them. Be honest. And the final thing is that before the final round of evaluation, make sure that all things which were mentioned in the presentation or the documentation, they are up to the mark and they are working fine.
Okay, so those were some very good inputs coming from you for the future contestants. That's very nice of you to share those ideas. Now, coming back to your innovation, where does the future lie? I mean, where do you see this in the coming months or years? So, have you had any plan in your mind how to go about using this, maybe commercializing at some level, or maybe turning this into a startup? So, what have you thought about the future?
Even after the SIH, we are working on this idea, as we think that there is some scope with this, because dropout in India is really something that need to be worked out upon seriously. So we are working on it, and as for the startup part, if you're asking, we are not thinking to make a profit out of it, because if it's for the nation, it doesn't mean we want any profit from it. If it is doing something for the nation, it is helpful for the nation, that is all we want in the end.
Okay, so those are some very nice thoughts. I mean, it's entirely upon you how you want to use your innovation for the social cause or for a commercial cause. Both are okay. I mean, if you've gone for a social cause in this particular case, that's very nice, very good, noble thinking. And I wish you all the best and all the success in the coming times, so that more and more people in institutions basically are able to use it, and we should all be able to reduce to the minimum the dropout rates, so that we have a vibrant educational system going ahead. So guys, thank you so much for joining us today, and congratulations on your victory in SIH, because you've made a wonderful product here. So keep up the good work, and thanks for your time and all the inputs that you've given for our future contestant. Thank you for your time. Thanks.
Thanks a lot, sir.
As we conclude, we celebrate a solution that blends technology with care, helping educators act early and students stay on the path to success. Our thanks to these inspiring innovators for showing how AI can make education more responsive, inclusive, and hopeful for every learner. We will bring you some more innovators with their innovations. Keep watching.